Hey guys, how's it going? Comic Crack. Um, just a couple of things. Um, just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, so I wanted to get it off my chest. So there's this shop in town, Comics America. If you're ever in Winnipeg and you want to go to a comic shop, that's the place you're going to hear advertisements on the radio. You're going to see ads everywhere about it. Don't go there. You just really, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. He's got a great big place. It's huge. He's got some really great stuff, and if you're very careful, you can find some good things for a cover price. I mean, you're not getting deals there by any stretch, but if it's something that you can't find, if you spend a bit of time digging through there, you can find stuff. Now, the thing that pissed me off today, and I don't know why I do it to myself, I know that this guy is a piece of shit, basically. But I just keep going there. Every once in a while, not lots, every once in a while, I just find myself, I'm looking for something, and I just know that I'm going to be able to find it there, so I go there, and I check things out, and so today I found, I was going with one purpose. I wanted to get this book here, Strange Tales 2, number 2 of 3. There's a lot of, we'll take a look at this in a minute, there's a lot of artists in here that I'm interested in, so I wanted to find this, and I've been looking for it with no luck. So I found it there. Fine. I know I overpaid for it, totally fine. I'm at the point where I've done a lot of searching, I don't really want to dig on the internet for it, I just kind of want it, no problem. When I was there looking through some back issues and stuff in one section where I found this, he had some Richard Corbin books from Fantagor. Can't remember the title. There was like 3 different titles. And he had them marked. He had a couple marked at like $8 a piece. But then there was a couple that were marked at like $3.50 and $3 a piece. And they were in a little rougher shape. And I was like, well, that's great. I'll try a couple of these out. If they're $3.50 a piece or $3 a piece, I'll give them a shot. So I picked up 2 of them. Eventually brought him to the front, and he looks at it, he's like, oh yeah, no, $3, there's, no, yeah, this is more than $3. It's like, well, if it's more than $3, I don't want it. He's like, well, you know, if you know anything about Richard Corbin. And I said, I do know about Richard Corbin, and that's why I'm buying these, because I'm interested in him. So basically, at the till, and he's even got a sign there too, which I saw then, that said, you know, anything, the prices can change on anything at any given moment. So, that just pisses me off to no end. Like, you have a sticker on something. It's not our fault that you have a place that's jam-packed with shit, that you can't keep up on it. Especially his back issue bins are the shits. Like, I'm just browsing through a couple of sections. There's books that are folded in. There's books that are rolled like this just to cram into there. And he's charging, like, I just looked at a few cover prices just out of my own curiosity, what he has stuff listed at. He's charging as if everything is in like new mint condition for back issues. So he's charging like as much as he possibly can, and it's jammed full in there. Like, the place is filled with junk anyway. So that on top of it, so he's like, yeah, well, you know, could you do me a favor and grab those other books for me, because you know where they are, and then I can re-tag them. And it's just like, so, yeah. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm pissed off, because I mean, it's just such a classic, stereotypical comic store guy bullshit maneuver. You know, I've got a tag on something at the last minute, I'm going to charge you, because I said when I showed him the other ones, I'm like, you know, like, there's no way, because there was some damage on one of them. I said, there's no way that this one is worth $8. It's barely worth $3. And he's like, yeah, no, it's not worth $8. It's worth more than that. So, I mean, he's going to price this stuff at, like, whatever he's going to, $12, $14, $15, who knows what the hell he's going to do. So, I walked out of there, got in my car, cursing, and I've just resolved myself to never go back. But I think, like, 6 months ago, or however long it was, a few months ago, I don't know how long it was, I think I said the same thing coming out of there. It's just, when it comes to like graphic novels and things like that, and some books and stuff, art books and stuff from like, you know, Fantagraphics and Drawn and Quarterly and things like that, he has a really good stock. And if you're, like I said, if you're really careful, That you can find some good things for cover price, and he's never done that to me before. When it comes to like cover price, if there's no sticker on it, whatever it says on the back is what he charges you. And he was the first in town. The time that I did buy a few things from him was when there was a drastic difference between United States and Canadian dollar. He was charging the US cover price on books as opposed to the Canadian. So you were saving like $10 per book right off the hop. That even at the bookstore, McNally Robinson, that I go to buy graphic novels, or the other comic shops that I go to, he was even kind of beating their prices, or at least matching their prices. But then his stock was far beyond what some of these other stores carried, like I said. But the other thing is, though, because everything is so crammed in there, there's a lot of stuff that's just damaged, and like you really have to be careful. And I just imagine all these guys who have subscriptions there. He's the classic guy that would, like, you know, when Batman Incorporated #8, I just know that this is a guy that he put 2 on the shelf, kept like 50 in the back room, and as soon as they sold out, threw stickers on them to throw onto the shelves so he could charge like double or triple or whatever he ended up selling them for. I just know he's that kind of scumbag. So, Comics America, Winnipeg, Comic Guy Rules, who's on YouTube. I know you probably know about them, and I hope you don't deal with them, because that'll be it. Our internet friendship will be done. I just wanted to show you, I rated some more $1.50 bins. I actually worked today, and it sounds like I'm working tomorrow. Things are kind of picking up again, so my glorious week and a bit off has sadly maybe come to an end. I'm still waiting for a few phone calls. So we'll see what happens. But so there's a few things from a place on Henderson Highway, which is a bit further away from me. The shop that I have my subscription at, Galaxy Comics, the owner there, his ex-partner, I don't know if there was some big stink breakup, they seem to be still on talking terms or whatever. He opened a shop kind of towards me on Henderson, so closer to my end of town on Henderson, and he's got a really great setup there. He's got a lot of 50-cent and dollar bins. He's got a lot of like stuff from the 60s and 70s that he keeps behind the shelf that are his more, or behind the counter rather, that is more high-end books. And then he's got books and books and books and books and books. He's got a lot of really good stuff. So I raided his dollar bins, and then I went to a flea market on the weekend where I picked up some more books. I went with my son one day on Saturday, and then the next day, Sunday, I went to there's 2 flea markets in town that have some comic guys at it. So I raided theirs as well and got some good deals. So one thing, so we'll just kind of start. I won't tell you where everything's from, but I didn't see that it was a 4-issue miniseries until I got home. But this looked kind of interesting to me. Cinder and Ash from DC title. Jerry Conway and Jose Garcia Lopez, who I've heard the name. I think Howler Mouse had mentioned his name, and I had seen his name before on various other comics, and I just had a kind of quick flip through this, and it looked kind of interesting. So I got 1, 2, and 3 there. But like I said, when I came home, I just, you know, you get into this flipping through, and you stop paying as close attention as you possibly should. So, because I wouldn't have got it if I wouldn't have had all 4 issues. Because now, if I do end up liking it, I'm gonna hunt for issue number 4. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. At the other place, I don't know if I showed this one already. This is another Epics Comics. 6 from Sirius. He had a few of these. This is number 4. I think this was like in his 50-cent bin, so giving this a try. Give that a shot, see what it looks like. Every once in a while, when I come across PC or Eclipse, I give them a shot, especially when they're cheap. So this one's called Sunrunners from PC. This is number 2, I think it is. Yeah, so we'll see what that was like. Jeremy Eaton It's a name that I know. I couldn't tell you from where right off the top of my head, but something called Trouble, #1 from, looks like Black Eye Press. So I had to flip through that. That looks pretty great. I'm big on the 3D comics. I've got quite a few of them. There's a couple in here actually. So every time I see one, I always find them for super cheap, like 25, 50, $1, that sort of thing. So I always end up picking them up when I see one that I don't have. So here's a Dick Tracy in 3D. And here's Will Eisner, The Spirit in 3D. Neither of these came with the glasses, but I've got, like I said, I've got a bunch of these kind of books, so I've got plenty of glasses. This was super cheap as well, something called Thunderbolt from Modern Comics. Face of the dragon there. Had to flip through it. It looks pretty fantastic, so cheap. I've got a magazine size collection of this book. I've never actually seen the single issues from Starhead Comics called Stick Boy. One of those ones along with like the Drawn and Quarterly magazine and Centrifugal Bongo Puppy and Rip-Off Press magazine. I remember getting this at the same time and just really enjoying it. It was one of those that I just read and reread. So this, I had a quick look, and there's one story that I do remember is from the magazine. But I'm sure there's some stuff in here that I haven't read before, so that's kind of cool to find that. Another one, Kitchen Sink Comics. I usually pick up what I can from them. So this is Border Worlds, and it's #1. I think he had another couple of issues of this too, hidden away. A couple of these books are from the place, cover to cover, that I've talked about before on Pembina Highway, where I discovered all their dollar bins. So, and a little collector's guide with The Spirit on the front. I realize it's not like a comic or anything. I picked it up anyway. It was super cheap. Wanted to check it out. Record label that I really enjoy. Skin Graft Records. I guess I didn't know this. They put out a comic and found one of them, so this is issue 2 of that. I think some of the musicians who play in the bands do some comics in here too. I finally found it. Captain Victory, the special, which was the one I was missing for my collection. So this is special #1 from PC. Not crazy about the colors on that cover, but there you go. Found it finally for cheap. There was actually quite a few of them there too. Night of the Living Dead line. I vaguely remember this book. The reason I bought it is, I don't know if you can see the names. Shaky Kane is in this one. Richard Sala's in it. What a surprise. It seems like that guy was in tons of these kind of books back in the day there. So I bought it because of the Shaky Kane. And then another cheap one. This was from the dollar bin. It's in really rough shape, but I don't have anything from this era of Daredevil, so this is #112. So I wanted to give it a try. And then I found a bunch of Defenders books. I've got a big chunk of Defenders stuff, but because they were so cheap, they're in rough shape. But I didn't care. Because this is a series that I just want to read, and it's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while now. So now that I've got another big chunk, I think I might have up to issue 30 now with these in here that I picked up. So I can give it a read now. So #24, #25, 26, 28, 39. Sorry, screen went down on me there. 39. 67, and this one here, love this cover, love this space monster. 72, Check that son of a bitch out right there. That's some great shit. I had a look through this one too. Looks just as good inside. Blues, purples, yellows. Love those. You know, I've seen lots of videos, people talking about colors and things they love on their comics. Blues, purples, yellows. I love that kind of shit. And like I said, those kind of creatures are fantastic. It's just bizarre. That just screams comic book monster to me. So great. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. And then I saw on Captain Cummings' video, I thought that I don't have number 75, but I got number 76 and number 77. And then I was watching the Captain's video there, and he was talking about this Omega Saga finishes in 75, 76, and 77. I thought it was only 76 and 77 because I've read both Omega series, both 10-issue series. So I was excited to find those two because I know that they don't fully wrap it up. I think Sleepy Reader was saying that it doesn't fully wrap up the story anyway. But I was interested to pick them up and finally read them just to kind of tie off that series for me. But then, what do you know? So that's that. And then the last thing I just wanted to talk about, I was looking in, when I went to Knucklehead there to buy the overly expensive books, he hands out this comic shop news, and usually I just hand it back to him or throw it away or whatever. But this one, I had a quick look through it, and one thing that caught my eye. Now, I don't go in for this kind of thing. Batman statue by motherfucking Raphael Grandpa. I love his art. I used to have one of these statues. I had a Kelly Jones black and white Batman statue, and like I said, that's the first time I've ever bought anything like this, like a statue was. Usually I don't care for them. I think they're too expensive, a waste of money, but I really like Kelly Jones's Batman with the big ears and shit. And the black and white statue looked amazing, so I saved up. I think I paid in installments or something over the course of a month or whatever the hell it was. This was quite a long time ago. And I bought it, and I took super good care of it, and I kept the box, and I had it up on the shelf. The thing fell, the ears broke off, just like the exact reason why I don't buy things like that, because then now it's just a piece of garbage, because the ears are thin, so you can't really glue them back on. So it just really ticked me off. But then, of course, then I see this, and I'm super tempted, but I don't think that I will. But I'm fairly tempted, because I really, really like Raphael Grandpa's art. And on the Strange Tales 2 kick, here's a cover that he did for one of the issues. Just let's do that. I don't know, you can see that well enough, eh? He's just so great. I think I've talked about it before. Mesmo Delivery. It might have been in my in the video of like my favorite covers from quite a while back. So I'm very interested in that. But he's such an amazing artist. Now I know that he didn't do the sculpt or anything. It's just based on one of his drawings and stuff like that, but I'm still pretty curious. So let's have a quick look through this here. So this will be something that I won't review on this next show that we do for the Underground Talk, but I'm thinking that it's going to tie in that this series, I'm missing one from, there's a Paul Pope cover there. I'm missing one from the first 3-parter when this came out. So that's number 1. And then with my man Peter Begg, there's number 2. I saw a Red Hulk variant of this just the other day actually, but yeah, screw that. So I don't have number 3 of this one. And then for Strange Tales 2, I have all 3 now. So 1, 2 you just saw, and then there's number 3 there. And it's really neat. Like, I've got to have another look through these now that there's artists that I've since discovered. Because let's see, one of the reasons I really wanted to hunt for this. There's a couple of guys in here. One being John Vermilya, Tony Millionaire, Jaime Hernandez is in here, Jeffrey Brown, Farrell Dalrymple, who was the artist on the second Omega 10 issue series there, Gilbert Hernandez, David Heatley, etc. A couple other guys. But here's the John Vermilya art for his story in there. Really great. So I'm going to have a look through all these again just to see who else I maybe missed out on. So this has got to be Dalrymple. So very, very cool idea that they got these guys to tackle some Marvel characters. Here's Tony Millionaire's Thor. So yeah, that'll definitely be something that we talk about on not this coming Underground Talk, but the one after. I'll have these read by then, and then maybe do a review and maybe talk. Maybe that's a topic for the third episode too. Kind of these outsider guys, or these small press guys, or indie artists and stuff, who are kind of making their way into more mainstream comics. If there's more, I'll do a little bit of research on it and see who else has done stints in like Marvel or DC world. So super excited about that, and I'm really excited to read those. And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up about the next Underground Talk. It was going to be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's not going to be. The only reason that we had it at 7 p.m. the first time, which I had forgot, was because basically he's in the future. There's no flying cars in the future. It's not an apocalyptic wasteland. Don't worry, everything's okay. He's giving me updates if anything goes horribly wrong. But Spiro, when we did the last talk, he had that day off of work because it was a Friday for him, Thursday for me. So that's why he was able to start at what was 4 p.m. his time. But now obviously it's still a work week. So we're going to try it on Friday. I'm going to talk to him about it. I'm going to try doing it on Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Now, I'm waiting for a call for work, so the beauty of the job, it's going to be Friday or Sunday that I end up working, so we'll see which day it is. But I'm hoping that Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time is when we can do the next Underground Talk. So it's not going to be on Wednesday. I know the 4 of you that were going to watch were really disappointed, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. You'll get over it. And I know on Friday we're competing with, like, you know, I think they have the Comic Talk podcast on every Friday. I know sometimes it's Friday or Saturday kind of thing. Whatever. We're going to do it anyway. We're the pilot going up against Dallas, you know, like, what can you do? We'll try our best. So, but of course I'll let you know, and I'm sure if you follow Spiro.geek, he'll let you know as well. One of us will let the 3 of you know. The 2 of you can tell each other. Maybe we'll let one of you know, and that one can tell the other one that we're on. So anyway, that's the video. I'll just stop babbling. Thanks for watching, guys. It was nice to talk to a screen that's pretending to be you. Okay, bye.